Hey all, I've decided I'm going to finish off Odyssey's series with a couple videos spanning 1 month each, and finally finishing off with his journey video. So here I was filming for a vlog type video, but I ended up deciding that I'm just going to use some clips from the month of July, and I'm going to share with you a basic overview of what we got up to. So here I was hitching up the trailer for his first excursion to a cross-country field with Megan and Mo. We were going to the Florida Horse Park to school the cross-country course for the pop show that we would be competing in the following day. In my last Odyssey video, it was filmed at the beginning of June, and the reason there was such a large gap where I wasn't riding him is because I had a knee injury. I had a horse fall while I was riding, and I hit my knee on the ground so hard that I got a hematoma, and I was hardly able to walk for weeks, much less ride. The horse was okay.
That was very brave, Odyssey.
So this was Odyssey's first time seeing cross-country jumps and water and ditches, and while I didn't get any videos of him over the ditch, he was super brave and went straight over it, and he was really good about the water. So we just practiced over the little starter jumps that we'd be jumping the next day in the schooling show. And Odyssey did take a look at some of them, which is understandable because he was still a bit nervous about going over new jumps, and it was his first time seeing cross-country jumps, but he was able to come around and jump them.
Yeah, super. Do this one more time. Careful, it's slippery. There you go. Yes, good job, that's fine. Keep those shoulders. Funnel him. Yeah, awesome.
So once again, I didn't get a whole lot of video, but I'm going to share videos of us jumping the exact same course the next day, so you'll get to see some more of that. He really started to build up his confidence by the end of it, though.
Yeah, good girl. Yeah, super, Ellen.
This was Odyssey's first time being presented with the bank, and he happily went straight down it. He said, "Yeah, I'm a Mustang. I don't care about terrain." So then we untacked and hosed off the horses and loaded them back up after they got a drink of water.
We're best friends.
Such a bully.
We live together. We're stable across from each other. My water, Odyssey.
Well,
They were both asleep.
The next day, catching the horses in the dark to go to the show. I tried to do a little time lapse of me grooming him, but my phone was running low on storage, so I got a little bit of brushing his tail and stuff.
18.
So this was Odyssey's first time in a dressage ring, first time seeing the whiteboards. He was a bit nervous. You can see he's pretty green. He was a little bit tense in here, but he still tried very hard and gave me his best that he could on that day. There were some good moments despite his nervousness and him being a little bit stiff. He still hadn't quite developed his free walk at that point, but in the future that became his strongest suit in dressage. And coming down our center line, he did pretty good. I was pretty happy with him. Once again, he's still green, got lots to learn at that point. In our show jump, he was a little bit out of sorts. He hadn't really been in a show jump ring with a bunch of fancy jumps, so he was a bit geeked out, but I was able to get him to every jump, and he knew at that point, once I was facing him at a jump and gave him a moment to look at it, that he would jump it. So We did have a few stops in this show jump course, but he still made it around, and it was a great educational experience for him.
Good. There, good girl. Lean back. There, good girl. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have a great ride.
So he was a bit wiggly to the first fence, but once I got him over it, he built up so much confidence from that he was super brave. Shout out to Megan for filming from the chaser cart. She got some really great video. This horse loves the terrain on cross country. At this point, he was feeling super confident and not really taking a peek at anything. Coming up to one of the spookiest jumps, he actually stopped and jumped from a standstill. That didn't count as a stop. Unfortunately, here, we did have a stop, and I could have been riding a lot better to this. If I had kept my shoulders back, he probably would have jumped it. So that was on me. I should have known that because he was already losing a little bit of confidence, I should have ridden a bit better to that fence. Back to his favorite thing, the down bank. And into the second water. It's not often you see 2 waters on a starter course, although this one was optional. I chose to go through it because Odyssey liked it so much. And jumped that fence from a trot because we didn't have time to build up momentum after the water. At this point, I felt him lock on to this jump because he saw it, he knew we jumped it the day before, and he was super brave. I felt like he'd gained his confidence back, and it was a really great way to end. A little bit of an awkward distance to this one, but we made it over. Overall, I was very happy with Odyssey's performance for his first ever show.
There you go.
Back at home, this was a little bit later, working on some flat work and a lesson with Elisa.
There you go. That's it. Good. Little inside feel, little inside leg, help him balance, then change directions. This is nice. There you go. Slow your posting if he's fast. Yes!
Odyssey is a fun little pony to ride, but he is sensitive and requires you to be very still and balanced because that helps him out with his own balance as he's green and still building up strength. So I was working very hard on making sure that I wasn't crooked in any way because that causes him to be crooked. And these were some of the best transitions that I'd gotten out of him at that point. Despite the time we had to take off, he was really starting to feel a lot more trained. I was also working on keeping my hands super steady so that the contact would be super consistent and soft for him. He really appreciates a very light contact, and so he was starting to feel a lot happier in the contact and quieter in his mouth as he became more comfortable carrying the bit and having a light contact. Odyssey was really helping me work on my own riding as he's very sensitive and very telling of my mistakes, and so he was helping me improve. It's very neat seeing what these horses will do for us as well as what we can do for them. And thanks as always to Elisa for always giving the best lessons. I've learned so much here and progressed so much with Odyssey under her coaching. and then a little bit later having some show jump practice in a ring. It was raining, as you can see, which did end up cutting our ride short, but I got some good stuff out of him. He was starting to feel a lot more confident.
Ooh.
I was not quite prepared for the height that he jumped over these two, but he was a good boy despite me grabbing him.
Good boy, I'm sorry.
And on to our next cross-country school. This was at Majestic Oaks, Ocala. Little bit of a spook at this fence, but we made it there in the end. This was our first time cantering over a ditch, so I was trying to steady him. He was a little bit keen to get back with his friends.
Steady. Good. There you go.
And this jump is particularly spooky because
doesn't
of
like
the
to
little white
read.
M on it.
There you go. He
But
can
we
walk
made it
over it.
there.
Good.
For as green as he is, he's pretty good with
Good boy.
my inability to see a distance sometimes.
Woo!
So I don't know if I got our first approach to this fence. Because it was a little bigger, I think he stopped the first time and then came back around and trotted it. And then we came back around and cantered it, and he jumped it super cute. Especially brave to jump it from a long spot. We were starting to string together a bit longer courses for schooling, and he was doing really well. I love this venue. It's very
There we
beautiful
go.
there. Onto this little table, and then moving on to his first little baby tricaner. I got thrown a bit off balance because he jumped a bit sideways, but he was very good. And that was the end of July. Stay tuned for the August update on Odyssey's training.